So, one video away from the reveal of your amazing Halloween costume.
And I can't believe we got one on such short notice. It's really lucky for us, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, let's continue. With the internet currently losing its shit about the upcoming holiday of Halloween, as it is wont to do, we thought we'd take a minute to talk about how the guy who played Pinhead in the Hellraiser movie was really good at applying his own makeup.
I know this is going to hurt.
Okay.
But there will be people out there, younger viewers, who may not know who Pinhead is.
Yeah, that's a depressing thought, but for those people who don't know who Pinhead is, because, you're too young, or you're not cool enough to have watched those movies, Pinhead is a horror movie icon from the 1980s, and I think the 90s as well, you had a few movies there, who stands alongside the likes of Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers, and Freddy Krueger. One of those iconic villains who fuck people shit up in increasingly shitty movies as the time went on. Because, holy shit, do all of those characters have a lot of movies around them? And people complain about the Marvel movies. Oh yeah, they're getting stale after 20 movies in a row. It's do people know how many sequels used to get made for shit movies back in the day? I don't even know how many they've got off the top of my head. Why is it horror of all genres that gets the most sequels to its movies? My working theory is that they're so cheap to make and that people who watch them don't really expect much from them. You just want to see teenagers getting their shit rocked and a guy with a big knife and a boiler suit walking around.
Well, every review I now see of any new Saw movie says, if you're a fan of Saw, you'll like the movie. And it's they're literally there to watch people get ripped apart.
Yeah, and they cost so little to make. You don't have to hire any big name actors, because why would you? They're going to get killed. So you just hire some no-name actor who will work for scale and think of a way to kill them that's as gruesome as possible. Put in a few shitty jump scares, bish bash bosh, job done, $40 million at the box office on a $5 million budget.
It's ridiculous, though, how many of these sequels they do churn out. And then when they get bored of sequels, they start putting them together to fight.
Yeah, my favourite, I heard someone put it is, they're officially embarrassed about how many they made when they stopped putting numbers at the end.
Yeah.
When they didn't do Saw, Saw 8, they did Jigsaw. And spoilers for that movie, because I'm a big fan of the Saw movies, it's a prequel that has lasers in it. So despite being a prequel set in the past, before all the Saw movies, they somehow brought back Tobin Bell. They bring Tobin Bell out of his fucking coffin. They put him on set in that fucking costume, making do those shitty voiceovers, and the end kill is a guy getting lasers on his head. So how long ago was this movie set for there to be lasers, but it's also a prequel? And why did he have lasers before the first Saw movie? But then in the first Saw movie, his big trap is an ankle bracelet and a rusty saw when he had lasers.
I got really, really pissed off at that film because they brought back the franchise after a gap.
Yeah.
And they hailed it Jigsaw, and it was going to be this big thing.
The return to form for the movies.
And it was just another one. I thought it was going to be this whole dramatic thing where it turned out there was a cult. Or there was so they made a reference to it, things on the deep web, and you can buy that would have been a far more interesting film.
It's copycat killers. My favourite thing is obviously they knew that Tobin Bell was the thing, the glue that held those movies together, which is why after they killed him off, I think the fourth movie, spoilers, he appeared in every movie after that anyway in flashbacks.
Yeah, always flashbacks.
Because they knew he's the best part of the movie.
But the copycat thing would have been such a good angle to go down, people buying his traps or making their own, and the police not being able to stop it
What's
because
the plot of one
everyone's
of the
doing
movies?
it.
Oh man, those movies suck so much ass. They had such good promise as well.
Well, do you know they got ashamed of it before they even did Jigsaw? Because the last one is called Saw, the Final Chapter. At least I think it is.
We should call it Saw, we ran out of ideas. Saw, these movies are no longer profitable.
Saw, Tobin Bell wants a paycheck.
Oh man, you know what, Tobin Bell, you do you. That guy's awesome.
Yeah, he's fantastic in the role. It's just it's unfortunate the script's written around him because it's an interesting premise and you could probably get another decent film out of it if they went a bit more meta. But
no,
just gruesome traps. The same thing again where they got 5 people in a room. They literally rehashed their own franchise for a film that was supposed to be new.
Okay, so I think we're beating a dead horse by saying there are horror movies that have had too many sequels made to them. But here's the inverse. What horror movie hasn't had enough sequels made? Because my money's on Final Destination. Because I would watch a Final Destination movie every day of the fucking week. If they release a new one of those every 3 months, I'd go watch it. Because those things are always amazing.
It'll be amazing if they kept trying to trip up the audience. They bring back Sean William Scott.
Was he in one of those things?
In the first one.
Oh my god,
He's the guy who gets his head knocked off by a train.
That's great, put the clip in. And now put a clip in of Stifler. No, wait. Can you combine them to do a clip of Stifler being a dickhead and then immediately smash cut to getting his head knocked off?
I'll see if I can make it work.
Okay, cool. Let's continue with talking about Pinhead. Moving back to Pinhead, although he does share many similarities with the characters we've just talked about, he stands out as a fairly unique example of a horror movie icon.
So why is that?
Well, unlike Michael Myers or Jason Voorhees, Pinhead isn't a mindless killing machine, and unlike Freddy Krueger, he's not a child molesting maniac. Yeah, they kind of walked that back in the later movies, didn't they? The whole thing about Freddy Krueger being a big old child molester, big old kiddie fiddler.
That reminds me a lot of the way they dealt with Theodore Bagwell.
Oh, you mean Teabag in Prison Break? Oh man, I've been watching Prison Break recently actually, and I've noticed that because that actor, I think it's Robert Nepple, I think his name is fucking amazing in that role, and he's so charming as like Teabag. But the problem is in earlier episodes, because they didn't realise how good an actor he was or how big a role they'd want him to play in later seasons, they just like, oh yeah, he's super evil, he's a white supremacist, he's like a rapist, he's murdered people. And I think in one season he fucking straight up eats a guy. He's like a cannibal and he plays it for a joke. It's like, fucking hell, Teabag. And I think as well, in the later season he has a robot hand. That's how bad Prison Break gets. We talk about things getting too many sequels. Prison Break, in the 5th season, Teabag gets a robot hand.
It's like IT crowd levels.
I'm not even making that up. They give, like, a child molesting rapist a robot hand, and you're like, yeah, go fight crime, Teabag.
I am definitely right now cutting together the clip of him first getting his hand, and then Moss walking past going, I'd have used my robot hand for good.
Totally do that. He's in, did you ever watch the show Breakout Kings?
I didn't know.
There's a show called Breakout Kings, written by the same guys who wrote Prison Break, and it's about they get people who've escaped from prison to catch other people who've escaped from prison, and in one episode, to link it with Prison Break, they have Teabag escape from prison again, and what he does, a guy, I think, rapes his mother, which obviously, that's how you get, okay, now you don't feel bad about this guy getting horribly murdered by Teabag. I think he feeds him into like a wood chipper or something, and then goes back to prison. So he breaks out of prison, feeds a guy who hurt his mother into a wood chipper, and then willingly goes back to prison. And you find yourself rooting for him the entire time, because he's the only good actor in that episode.
The thing is, Robert Nepper is now so synonymous with Teabag that if I see him in anything else, like, I can't remember what film it is, but he's in a film as like a cop or an FBI agent.
You can't think he's too evil.
He's Teabag.
He's too evil.
What's Teabag doing in a cop's uniform?
Is that when I see, like, I'm watching Prison Break, I'm like, that's Chris Redfield. I can't take him seriously as Michael Schofield anymore. Or when I see his brother Lincoln Wells, like, that's Dracula! We're bringing it back to Halloween. Oh, man, they missed a trick not bringing Wesley Snipes in the later episodes, the guy in prison for tax fraud. And they can say they know each other.
How many times is Wesley Snipes' tax fraud going to come in Halloween videos?
Because it's pay your fucking taxes, Wesley Snipes. I'm not going to tell you again. Actually, I will, 'cause it's funny.
So how is Pinhead different from those other slasher icons?
Unlike Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, Leatherface, he's portrayed as being articulate and well-spoken, more akin to Hannibal Lecter or Dracula. The decision to make Pinhead a well-spoken and articulate villain was a deliberate one on behalf of the movie's creator, who felt that a smart villain was infinitely more scary than a dumb one.
So why did he say that a smart villain is scarier than a dumb one?
Because a smart villain knows that they're hurting you, and they just don't care. That's why, like, Dr. Hannibal Lecter's so terrifying, because he's smart enough to know that he's doing wrong, but he does it anyway. As opposed to someone like Leatherface, who's got like the mind of a child, and he's just doing as he's told. Like, you can kind of feel sympathy for that villain, because it's like, oh, he's a product of, like, his upbringing or some shit like that. You can't say that with Dr. Hannibal Lecter or someone like Pinhead. They've got the intelligence to know what they're doing is, like, morally wrong. They just don't give a fuck. And that's even scary. It's like when it hurts more to get kicked in the nuts intentionally by another man than it does when someone throws a remote control across the room and accidentally dings you in the nuts. It's like the knowing makes it hurt more. This all said, Pinhead does share at least one similarity with the character of Freddy Krueger, in that they've both been consistently portrayed by the same actors on screen, Doug Bradley and Robert Englund respectively.
How many Hellraiser movies actually are there?
There are 10.
Wow.
Yeah, and there was one released as recently as 2018, in February of this year, I believe, because of course, why would you not release a horror movie in February? The spookiest month. That's how bad it is. And understandably, Doug Bradley is not in that movie, and he's not in the one before that, which I believe was made in about 3 weeks because they were going to lose the rights to the Hellraiser name, which is always a good sign. And they asked Doug Bradley to be in it, he went, nah, fuck it, I don't want to be in this one, it looks like shit. So that was already a bad sign. If he'd appeared in the first 8 and you can't convince him to appear in, like, you know, the 9th one, something's already amiss. And it was so bad that the original creator, Clive Barker, went, yeah, this movie sucks. And when they put his name on the poster saying, from the mind of Clive Barker, because obviously it's inspired by his universe, he went, it's not from my mind, it's not even from my arsehole, on Twitter. And then the 10th one, they asked Doug Bradley again, come back, play Pinhead, and he went, no. Because he said, I want to read the script because the last Hellraiser movie sucks all kinds of balls. I don't want to get burned being another shit movie. Bearing in mind he was in Hellraiser 8. They wouldn't let him do it without signing NDA. So he said, no, fuck it, I'm not being in this movie.
So he didn't appear in 9 or 10?
No, but both of those movies are shit, so I don't think they'd count. Although I'm a bit disappointed that he didn't appear in them in some capacity. Because then he'd have, like, you know, a 10-movie streak playing Pinhead. And if he appeared in just one Hellraiser movie, he could have got himself an AC-130. That's a joke for all the Modern Warfare 2 fans out there who I know are watching this video.
Then again, if he had Hardline, he could have done it in the 10.
Oh, he could have done it in 10, couldn't he? Thing is, though, what, you know, perk setup in Modern Warfare 2 would Pinhead use? Because I think we all know, like, Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, and Leatherface would all use Commando Pro because they're all melee weapon users, aren't they?
It'd also make them so much because the distance you cover with Commando.
How deadly Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger. No, Freddy Krueger, does he stab people?
He does various things.
He'd probably use Ninja and, like, Scrambler and that shit, wouldn't he? No, but the thing is, Pinhead, though, he'd have one-man army and Danger Close. He'd be that dickhead with a noob tube firing it across the map because he's got, like, all the Cenobites on his team, hasn't he? He's that dickhead. He'd be the guy who's in, like, the MLG clan who plays, like, all the other, like, top-level people because he'd have all his Cenobites on his team. And then he's got the team of Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees and Leatherface all running around like dickheads with Commando Pro on, just jumping off buildings, doing 360s and just doing 40-foot knife stabs. Do you know what my favourite bit about Commando Pro is? A lot of people, when they play Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, go, yeah, that's unrealistic. Do you know it's actually based on a real thing called the Tula drill, which for people who don't know is a study done by a guy who basically said, okay, I've got a knife, and he tells people with a gun in a holster, try and draw your gun and I'm going to try and stab you. And 27 feet is the minimum distance you need to draw a gun and stab someone with a knife. And that's the exact distance Commando Pro covers for that thing. So that's why you think, oh, bullshit, I shot it. It's like, no, it was close enough to stab you. And I think that's quite cool for a game where you can do 360 no-scopes and block fucking AC-130 rounds with a riot shield. The fact they put that little detail in.
I remember Mythbusters testing that one as well.
Oh, you ever seen? It's a Red Letter Media clip of, I think it's like knife defense for police officers. I don't know. It's defending yourself from sharp objects or something like that. And they do the Tula drill in that thing. Find the clip of it where they just show you, like, from a foot away, you're just dead. And they say, like, you have to have, like, a football field between you, and if you've got a sniper rifle, you might just get a shot off. Because I think defending against edged weapons, which is a real fucking thing. And the Red Letter Media review of it, I recommend people go watch right the fuck now. Turn off this video and go watch Red Letter Media's review of defending against edged weapons, because that thing is fucking brilliant. Because they talk about the Tula drilling that, and they just show, like, a guy that's getting, like, wildly stabbed. It's like, you've got a fucking chance.
Why even demonstrate it from a foot or 2 feet away? Well, you know the guy with a knife's going to do it.
The thing is, that defending against edge weapons is fucking brilliant. They have a bit in that where it turns into a lethal fucking weapon. They have a bit in it where they go, there's like a cannibal, there's like a Satanist with a fucking broadsword. They have people get stabbed with their hats. Everything is knife. Getting back to Pinhead, understandably after appearing in 8 of these fucking movies, Doug Bradley got kinda good at applying the iconic Pinhead makeup.
Surely they would have had some makeup artists to do it for him.
What, to apply the Pinhead makeup? Yeah, they did in the first couple of movies, but they replaced the makeup artist between films. They didn't replace Doug Bradley. Because Doug Bradley knew how the makeup was applied, he eventually got so good at helping them apply it, he got a makeup artist credit in the 3rd and 4th movie. Because he said, fuck it, I can do it myself, it's quicker if I do it. Because obviously he sat in that chair and had it put on so many times before, whereas like the makeup artists they brought on for those movies were doing it for the first time. It's like, oh, don't worry, you can sit there and collect a paycheck. Just go put some more pour powder on that person's nose. I'm going to put these fucking needles into my eyeballs.
How is the makeup applied for that one? Is it a skull cap with like lines down?
Yeah, I think it's like a latex mask or something like that. I'm not sure exactly how they do it because they changed it between movies. I think the first was like a latex mask and then it gets more sophisticated. I think there's a behind-the-scenes documentary you can watch on how they did it. It's really interesting. There's a lot of really good practical like makeup effects in that movie for all the Cenobites. And like there's the Chatterer Cenobite, which is the one that always freaked me out as a kid. Because he's the one who's got no eyes and his teeth just chatter endlessly. And apparently he's communicating through Morse code. What hell Morse code? That's like some Doom level shit right there, man. It's crazy.
Out of curiosity, why is he covered in pins?
Well, the comics go into it in a bit more detail, but from my surface level understanding of the Pinhead cinematic universe, it's something to do with the fact that Pinhead and all the Cenobites worship some weird religion where pain is seen as like the ultimate form of expression or pleasure or some shit like that. So they all exist in a like perpetual state of agony, which is why all the Cenobites are like basically walking in like torture gear all the time.
Ow.
And it's why all the people in the Hellraiser movies get really fucked up. Because, oh my, do people get fucked up in these movies?
So when he hurts people, is that him like blessing them?
Yes, that's why he's a priest in hell. I think because he's the name Pinhead is never used in any of the official media. It's like used by in the movies, but in the comics that it's based on, he's only ever referred to as priest. And the idea is that he's a priest of this religion where they see pain as being like pleasure. Or some, I don't fully understand. You can put the link below because someone's going to like correct me on that. That's my surface level understanding of the Pinhead cinematic universe. I'm really sorry, guys. I just think it's a really cool design and I like horror movies. While we're talking about the makeup of Pinhead, fun fact, that makeup obscured Doug Bradley's actual real face so much that when he turned up to the premiere of the first Hellraiser movie, he got really despondent and upset when nobody there would talk to him, despite the fact he'd been working with them for months. And it wasn't until he pointed out, like, yeah, I'm Pinhead, I'm the main character in this movie. He went, oh shit, sorry, I've not seen you without your makeup on. And he went, oh, is that why everyone's been an arsehole to me and no one knows who the fuck I am? And they're like, yeah, kinda. And he's like, oh, that kind of makes sense. I thought people were just being dicks.
It'd be really funny if they didn't recognise him so much to the point where nobody let him into the screening.
We did get into the screening in the after party, so obviously his name was on the list. It's just that no one recognised him out of costume. But my favourite example of that exact thing happening was the premiere of Space Jam. So at the premiere of Space Jam, Billy West, the guy who did the voice of Bugs Bunny, turned up and said, yeah, I'm in this film. Can I get in, please? And the guy at the door's like, so who do you play? Bugs Bunny. He's like, sorry, you're not on the list. What? And they did a screening next door for all like the people who clean the toilets and shit like that and made the voice actors go there while Michael Jordan sat in the actual premiere watching it. It's like Bugs Bunny didn't even get to watch the premiere of Space Jam. That's fucking brutal, that, innit? Oh, but no, like Doug Bradley got in. It's just that no one knew who the fuck he was. Which I guess is really disappointing for him. He's like, there's a great story. He says, I walked around and like, no one had talked to me. I thought, oh, man, we got on really well last week. What have I done? It's like, no one knows who you are, mate. Oh. So if you decide to cuddle up with someone this Halloween and watch some old horror movies, if you decide to watch the third and fourth Hellraiser movies, it may amuse you to know that before Pinhead filmed many of his scenes, he probably spent an hour doing that annoying mascara face in the mirror while applying his makeup. Because it's Halloween in a few days, Brad, and because modern horror movies tend to be a bit, well, shit, are there any older ones that you'd like to recommend for people at home that they may not have seen, some more obscure ones? I want to, start off with Wishmaster. So if you're a big fan of, gory horror movies, and you want to see some sick, awesome, practical gore kills, watch Wishmaster. And Brad's going to put a clip in of the very first kill in the movie, because it's fucking hilarious. The idea is Wishmaster is this evil genie who grants wishes. It's like a monkey paw wish, where you wish for something, and it always goes wrong. And the first wish in the movie is, I want to see wonders that have never been seen before. And the Wishmaster makes a guy's skeleton leap out of his body. And it's fucking brilliant. So is there any movies like that you want to recommend?
Well, when I was a kid, I remember one of the movies I was always scared of. We called it The Stairs on Fire.
I hope that's the title.
No,
that's not the title, I'm going to be pissed off.
The actual title is The Changeling, and I think they might have remade it and it was shit, but the original Changeling was one of those ones where your mum puts it on for Halloween because she likes it, even though you're too young to watch it.
Yeah.
And I always remember getting really creeped out by that. So I'd recommend that. I'll find a clip from that. I think there's a little one where it's like a little kid drowning in a floor. Like, it's like a hallucination or a ghost or something.
Isn't that Jumanji?
No.
That always scared the shit out of me, that. Fucking Robin Williams drowning in wood. What the fuck? So that's supposed to be a kids' movie. I think one that always got me is Arachnophobia, which I found out recently is supposed to be a black comedy. It's supposed to be a comedy. And it's terrifying, because I'm scared of spiders. So if you're scared of spiders, watch Arachnophobia, or don't.
Have you seen Eight-Legged Freaks?
Yeah, but Eight-Legged Freaks
That's definitely
yeah,
a
that's
comedy,
definitely. But Arachnophobia is just giant-ass spiders everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like, imagine if they made like Snakes on a Plane, but Samuel L. Jackson wasn't in it, so they didn't care about killing the main actor. That's how fucking bad it is. Another one I recommend is Deep Rising. If you're a big fan of like practical effects and like all that shit, Deep Rising, there is a terrifying moment in that film. It's a giant evil octopus is attacking a boat, and it digests a guy, and they shoot the octopus, and he falls out of its stomach half digested, and it's fucking horrendous. So put that clip in as well. So if you want to see some like gory ass movies, go watch Deep Rising, because that shit's like terrifying to me. I watched all that as a kid.
The original Anaconda was pretty good. Do you not see any of the Anacondas?
Which one's the one with Ice Cube in it?
I think that might be Anaconda.
Is it? Oh shit! Go watch that.
It might be. I can't remember.
Ice Cube fight a giant snake. He was doing it. He was doing it before it was cool.
Oh god, there's Lake Placid. I'm trying to think of all these old ones that are like the monster movie ones where there was a creature and it was just too big. That was always the rule, wasn't
that
it?
was the dumbest trend ever, wasn't it? Like they were there.
It's still going.
Yeah.
Well, no, now it's not too big. Now it's something wrong with it.
Yeah.
You got Ghost Shark, you got Three-Headed Shark, you got Sharknado.
Since I seem to be having a streak of recommending old horror movies with good practical effects, I recommend the film Virus, which is about an evil space virus that gets beamed down via a satellite and turns a ship full of Russians into evil, like, goo robots. It's cool, watch it.
I'd like to recommend, there's a film called Session 9, and there's two reasons for this. One, I believe it was inspiration for one of the Silent Hill games.
Okay.
But two, because David Caruso is in it in one of his only other roles aside from Horatio.
Don't forget about Rambo.
And Rambo,
he's in the first Rambo. He gets his shit rocked by Rambo.
And he's also, what's that one where he's silent? It's Hudson Hawk. He's in Hudson Hawk as a mute.
So what happens in this horror movie?
In Session 9, there is one clip where someone says something to him, and as this person's walking away, the camera cuts to David Caruso and he says, "Hey, fuck you." And as he says, the camera pulls in on his face.
You know what? I feel like that's the clip we should end on today. There we go.